like that.
Boom.
We live on everywhere. We got the producer, Bert Doomis, one of them Doomis boys,
One of them Dumas
that-
boys.
from the NO proper, not from the outskirts. Outskirts.
Not from them outskirts. We in there like swimwear. All right, yeah, we live pimping.
We live. Okay, we live. We live. I'm taking the good producer word, Bert Doomis. So what's up, good people? Welcome to Cake, Crumbs, and Cheese. I'm DeTravius, and who am I with?
I'm Bird.
And we are two good looking brothers with two different perspectives on life. Shooting the beep. Always laughing, mincing no words, speaking our minds, and sharing what we know with you. We can't guarantee that you'll agree with everything we say, but you'll always leave with a trail of cake crumbs leading you right to the cheese.
That's for
So
sure.
what's going on, good brother? How you
Chilling, man.
doing in
What's up
this
with you,
cover
bruh?
world? I've been doing all right, man. We've been slacking. We supposed to be doing it every week,
I know, I
but
know, I know.
we
That's
gonna
all
get
right.
it
We've
together,
been
man.
getting that cheese. You know what I'm saying?
We getting that cheese. We get to the cheese anyway. I don't know if I got it yet. We've been getting to it. Though. Yeah, I can smell the
You can
cheese.
smell the cheese.
I can smell the cheese. Let me make sure. So what's going on, man? How's everything in the COVID world? How's the family, man?
Family's doing good, man. How about on your end?
Everybody's good, man. How's your mental space? I gotta ask that.
It's good, man. You know, you're
I guess I
always
gotta ask
trying to
nothing, but
excel
yeah.
a little bit further in life, and you start to doubt yourself. You know what I mean? With every step, you just start to, am I as good as I think I am?
Oh, so yeah. I don't know if you just gave me the alley oop, but this is what today's show is
Yeah.
about. The imposter syndrome. The imposter syndrome, people. We are talking about the imposter syndrome, and I think this is an excellent conversation for us as a community, as a nation, as a human being, that as a whole, but especially us as a community. When I say us, I mean the people of the darker
the
origins
the melanated
in this
community.
the melanated community in this world that's based in white supremacy. So what's going? How do you understand the term? The term. How do you define it? Because I mean,
I mean, well,
it's a
you know what?
philosophy more than anything.
Everybody defines it differently. I mean,
Yeah.
we'll take the Google definition, and that's people who struggle with imposter syndrome believe that they are undeserving of their achievements and the high esteem in which they are, in fact, generally held. They feel that they aren't as competent or intelligent as others might think, and that soon enough, people will discover the truth about them.
Mm.
And I mean that hits home, man. That hits
Wow.
home more than I think more than just inside of me. You know, it a lot of people feel that. At least I've spoken to a bunch of people who
Mhm,
felt that. You know, and
mhm.
not just of the melanated capacity.
Yeah, 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 yeah. I
Or
think
I
you
should.
know what I think. If everybody's honest with themselves or honest with the people, right?
Mm-hmm.
If people meaning outside of the self, I think
Mm-hmm.
we all feel some type of imposter syndrome at some point in time, unless you like I guess I don't know if it would be a
A
psycho
Donald
or
Trump.
social. Yeah, yeah. I don't know. I don't know. What diagnosis that would be because that's not my training. I'm a
He
lawyer
has
by training.
never felt undeserving.
Yeah, so I
Narcissistic.
mean, I think it's a real thing, and I think where we should start with is why people will feel like that, like the under.
I don't know. I mean, all my understanding is, that is definitely an internal experience. You know what I'm saying? It's
Uh,
definitely something that we believe for ourselves. It doesn't necessarily give a vision of the truth, or a vision of what actually is. It's
uh-huh.
something that we should talk to people about, a therapist or other people, or, get the feelings
Yeah,
out there in the world. They say acceptance is the first step. So,
yeah.
recognizing that you feel that way is definitely a step in the right direction.
So, yeah, exactly. So hold on, let me get a certain group of people out the way. If you are imposter, we not talking about y'all. We talking about people that if you are
Exactly.
actually if you are an actual imposter, we not talking about
Yeah,
y'all.
the
We
imposter
talking
step
about
to the side. Okay.
yeah, the imposter step to the side. This is not the conversation for y'all. This is
Absolutely
for
not.
people that actually are worthy of their position, but do not feel worthy for whatever reasons. And I think part of why people So I'm just going to do the external because everything, the inputs and outputs, everything we take in influences how we see the world and how
Mm-hmm.
we feel about the self. Also, I think at least when it comes to, I'm just going to say black men specifically, because I want to speak for myself. I don't want y'all cancel me for speaking for black women and speaking for
Exactly.
white
That's
people.
a whole
You know what I'm
nother.
saying? I'm speaking for myself. I ain't even speaking for I'm speaking as the self and as my experience as a black man, and I don't necessarily say this is the experience for every black man, right? So we're gonna get that out the way so y'all can stop with the fake deep posts y'all gonna post in the hair and the fake deep blogs y'all gonna write. So I know with me and it's research out here, like there in America at least, there's like tons of information that's telling black men that they ain't ish
Mm-hmm.
all day, every day. And I think we internalize that. And so when we become the ish, whatever, we feel like we're not there because society has trained us to think that we're not worthy of whatever it is. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And it's not a cry for help. It's not like looking for sympathy or anything like that. It's more understanding that I guess the feelings are typical,
Yeah.
and that we're
Yeah.
not the only ones that feel it, because that's yeah, that's how it happens. I mean, and again, I can only speak for myself. That's how it feels to me, uh, because there's a delicate balance, right? I
Uh-huh.
know at I know I'm good at what I do. I have no
Uh-huh.
doubt in that. I know that I'm skilled. I know that I've worked hard to get to the level that I'm at. But it's like, oh man, well, do I deserve this? Like, did I struggle
Yeah.
enough? You know what I'm saying? Did I?
Uh-huh.
It just,
Uh-huh.
and it's sad because the fact that we feel like we have to struggle to then
Yeah.
be
Yeah.
deserving of what I wouldn't say is owed to us, but just to what successes come next. It's sad. I'm just.
Yeah. Now I just had this conversation. So this is a auxiliary but relevant conversation. I guess that's what auxiliary means. Maybe it doesn't. But um
It
the
is.
auxiliary doesn't definitely doesn't mean that, but it's
No, it does.
auxiliary
It does. It
conversation.
does.
So I just had this conversation this week actually about this whole notion of um are you worthy of something, right? Because I guess that's under the umbrella of imposter syndromes and have you suffered enough or whatever. And I told this person, and I'm believing in myself. So when I say stuff, I gotta believe it too. Is
Hmm.
everything is what it's supposed to be, man?
That's true.
Because it's not, it wouldn't be.
That's true.
There's no alternative universe that we can measure things on based off if you took left and going right. Like this is what it is. It is for a reason. So good, bad, and ugly. This is where we at as a human society, as a globe, as a universe. This is where we are, and it's exactly how it's supposed to be. So you could focus on dealing with the world how it's supposed to be, or you can focus on dealing with the world how it ought to be. I think younger people tend to deal with how it ought to be. That's why they change a lot of stuff. As we get older, we get more conservative and accept the world as it is,
Hmm.
at least from our perspective. But yeah, everything is so yes, you're worthy. That's the long version of saying yes, you're worthy. You don't have to struggle. And I have to tell myself that, more often than not, that this everything that is here and exactly where I'm at, exactly where we having this conversation, whoever's going to see it, you are here because you are supposed to be here. Because if
Absolutely.
not, you wouldn't be here.
This is true. When you cease to, I guess, have a purpose, you stop existing.
Yeah. Yes, yeah, yeah. Once you're out of here, then I don't know what happens after that.
I don't
Maybe
know
you
how.
go, maybe your soul travels to some alternative universe and see your life plays. I don't know.
Yeah, I
You
mean,
know
we
who
can we
knows?
can only guess and
You
speculate.
can,
You know what I'm
we
saying?
can only guess and
And I'm not ready
speculate.
for my number or name to be called yet, so I still got
Nah,
stuff
not
to
yet,
do.
not
You know
yet.
what I'm
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
saying?
I'm not ready either, man. I hope. I always say like um one of my professors in undergrad, he was saying like he has been measuring his life based on can he double his age, right? So when you're
Hmm.
20, can you get to 40? Right. So he's like, all right. So, but when you're 40, can you get to 80? So at this
Hmm.
time, he was like in his late 50s. He was like, I don't think I'm gonna get to 100. So it's like,
He's like, I can't double that one. I can't double that one.
Yeah. So he's like, yo, I'm in the wind down phase of my life.
Yeah.
Um, and it's just a great perspective to have, I think, man. Because I mean, for the most part, on average, you're gonna live till I think America's what 70 something. You know what I'm saying on average. So hopefully you're
Yeah.
doing better than average, but
I mean,
um,
now we're living longer than we've ever lived before
yeah,
as a community, as a community, as a population, as inhabitants on this planet. I mean, we're
yeah,
living longer than we've ever lived before.
yeah, got you.
You
So
know?
I'm looking at our points to cover. This is the behind the scenes stuff, folks. I shouldn't have told y'all that. So
I mean, look, everybody got their plan, right? I mean, that's what we're talking about. You got to have a plan. You got to
gotta have a
execute.
plan. So I think one of the things we talked about, having a conversation with the self. I think a way to combat the imposter syndrome is
Well,
to be
before we even get to that, can I
uh
ask, like, because I know what I feel when I
uh
when I recognize I'm okay, I'm being succumbed to this syndrome. How do I
uh
pop out of it? And that's my
uh
my thing. But what have you, if you've experienced it? Because I don't know your personal experience, but
uh
if you've experienced it, what symptoms, like, either helps you recognize that you are in it, or
uh
um, yeah, roll with that.
Oh, that's a great question, man. You put me on the spot because so part of me feels like I don't know if this is always true. I mean, how long, but as long as I remember, I always felt like I was the ish, right? For whatever reason.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So obviously we go through ebbs and flows, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Yeah.
the times that I haven't felt that I was the ish, like the imposter is when I was actually not being my authentic self. So
Mm-hmm.
like so whether that's and it was going into my point, whether it was like when I was a lot younger, when I was going to interviews with what I call the interview voice, which is a higher octave than what you hearing now.
Yeah.
Um, it's more proper than quote unquote than what you're hearing now. Um, and that I think I might have talked about it on this, but maybe not. So I'll repeat it again. Is like that part about me made me feel like an imposter because I was like, that's not me. Like I don't sound like this. So I don't talk like this normally. So obviously I could switch it on being professional, whatever, but like the higher octave, because it was really just for other people to be comfortable with me. You know what I'm
I
saying?
want to hear that. Can you show me what that sounds like? I'm
I
trying
can't even do it no more, man.
to.
It's been so long. I was talking to somebody. It's been so long that I don't even know. I can't even do it,
Can't
man. I would have
replicate
to
it. Huh?
like yeah. Before some people call it code switching. I don't know if that
Uh huh.
falls on the umbrella
It
code switching,
does.
but it's been so long that I can't do it. Like I would have to think about it. Like before
Yeah,
it was
we,
just
we call it
automatic.
like the phone voice or the white people
Yeah,
voice.
yeah,
It's
yeah,
like, yeah, I
yeah.
mean, it's real.
So I can't do it now. I would have to really like think about it, and I'm sure it wouldn't sound like how it sound back in like I can't. Before I just be doing it on cue. Now
Yeah,
I can't do it at all.
you
Like
got your courtroom
not
voice.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I can't do it on even if I go to court, I'm talking like this now. Like I might be more professional, more polished or whatever, but I'm it's in the same tone and everything.
Yeah.
Same rhythm, everything. Um so that's like and one time, so a family member that will not be named. He was running with a big drug dealing crew,
Mm-hmm.
and they were I was like the younger guy around. I wasn't selling no drugs for with these cats, but they had a lot of money, at least from my perspective, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they were doing stuff like so. This was like in the '90s, buying like a whole bunch of Iceberg and Gucci and whatever, all that type of stuff. We've talked about that before. We got on
Yeah,
like
yeah, yeah.
and like I was starting to buy things that they were buying. One, I couldn't afford it, right? And then two, it was just like I don't even like this stuff. So
Mm-hmm.
that was an imposter in I guess in another setting because I guess you could have multiple settings where you feel like an imposter.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
was like, I'm not even into this stuff like that, man. Like, why am I? But I was doing it to keep up with them to belong. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So those are times when I actually. So I don't even know if this is imposter syndrome because I actually
More
was an
like keeping
imposter.
up with the Joneses.
Yeah, so I actually was an imposter because just So I don't know if that's an imposter syndrome, because I think that's a different. Those are the times when I was actually an imposter. I think the
Mm-hmm.
last time I felt an imposter syndrome was when somebody, the first board of directors I got pulled on, one of the guys that put me on was like a person that he's one of those people that they say I should do something, I do it.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I was just like, yo, why me? You know what I'm saying? Like, why you? Because I know your Rolodex
Mm-hmm.
or your phone contacts, and I know, you could call anybody. I ain't gonna say I was his first person he called,
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
but I
Absolutely.
was like, why me? Out of all the people that you know, because I know who's in your Rolodex. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So I guess that's the
What
last time I felt
specific
imposter.
skills that I have that you
Yeah,
need in me? Yeah.
yeah. So
Yes.
I guess that's the definition. Before I just described actually being an imposter, but
Mm-hmm.
that's when I actually felt. That's the last time I actually think I felt imposter syndromes, when I was just like, yo, why are you choosing me?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
So, so I got two examples, right? One, when I was actually, in the quote unquote corporate world, uh again, I know my experience, I know, what I'm capable of, but it always seems to happen when you're taking a step that you haven't stepped before, a
Uh-huh.
place you haven't stepped before. For me, it was going from, say, like uh, a sous chef style positioning to an executive chef, right?
Got
Um,
you.
and even an executive chef going from like an executive pastry chef to like the one who runs the kitchen.
Uh-huh.
I remember, they say, well, we want to offer you this position because you're the one in the kitchen that has the experience, blah 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 blah. And do you think this is something you can handle? And my response was, I mean, I'll try. You know,
That's real though.
you
That's
know,
real.
because
Right, yeah.
it's not that I wasn't confident that I could do it, but that was the most honest response I can give. And they said, well, we don't need you to try, we need you to do. I said, oh, well, I will definitely do, but
Uh-huh.
it's territory that I have not ventured on before. Yes, in a different capacity I have, but not the whole thing. So
Uh-huh.
um again, you start to doubt yourself if people are gonna actually follow your lead
Sign you out.
and
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, do what you say. And our our management styles vary, from person to person. You know what I'm saying? So
Mhm.
who's to say that my management style will be effective in this setting versus the person who was there prior to me? Will I be
Mhm.
throwing a bomb, and disrupting everything, starting from
Mhm.
scratch and I changing up what is the norm to what, I want to do. On the other
Got you.
side of that, um, in a more entrepreneurial capacity, I think imposter syndrome kicks in when you secure contracts that you don't necessarily think you're worthy of, and not necessarily that you don't think you're worthy of it, but it's again more territory that you haven't trampled on. It's like, ooh, man, this
Mhm.
this is a big one. Can I handle this? Can our team handle
Mhm.
this? Um, is this the moment when I scale? Is this the moment
Uh-huh.
when I scale up more than I've been doing before?
Mhm.
I guess being very transparent, in taking over the Monogram Coffee Company, um and doing just rebranding, just taking over what is something that's been in existence, for 80 plus years. you
Mhm.
know can my young ass handle this? You know what I'm saying? Like,
Uh-huh.
you know what I'm saying?
Uh-huh.
Like, man, this company older than
Yeah.
me. You know what I'm saying? Like, can I do this? Can I create something or recreate something, rebrand it to make it look good? While still maintaining the integrity behind it.
Mhm.
Am I ready for this? Am I enough?
Uh,
I just,
I'm gonna give you some advice you gave me, because I don't know
huh?
the last time you felt that way. I don't even know if you remember giving me this advice. This was a couple years ago.
Yeah.
You told me, You told me to read Donald Trump's The Art of the Deal.
Mm-hmm.
You said skip all the book except for one specific chapter. And you said read that chapter and you should never feel like an imposter. Well, you ain't say this imposter, but you said something else. You should never feel less confident about yourself after you read that chapter. Do you know what chapter I'm talking about?
Look, I
The Art of
don't.
the Deal.
I don't.
You don't remember the kid? Yeah, you
I
know, gave
don't.
some high fire.
He
You don't
gave some
remember?
advice, and I don't even remember my own advice. Look at that.
So it was The Art of the Deal. It was you said read just one chapter. I can't think of what chapter it was.
Was it
And
chapter
you
3
said
or
actually,
chapter? I don't remember.
I don't remember, but you said actually, you said the book is, don't you don't get I gotta waste your whole time on the book. Just go get the book, read this one chapter, and you should so I'm gonna get the chapter for you and the people.
Thank you,
Um
thank you, thank you.
yeah, and I'm gonna give it to them next week. I forgot what chapter. You was like, read that, and you should never feel less than after you read that.
Okay.
Now, I thought you was gonna be able to dunk that
I
and
mean,
give it.
I do remember something of the such, right? I don't remember the exact chapter and the exact advice. I know that when I did skim through the book, I could I could pick out the chapter that he wrote versus
Yeah.
whoever,
Somebody
whatever
else wrote it.
ghostwriter, because it just the
Yeah.
tone, the voice,
The
everything
tone of
was
the voice. Yeah,
completely
yeah,
different
yeah.
from what he said
I
or what
think the
he thought.
chapter might be called "The Art of the Deal." I think that might be
I
that
think the
name of
whole
the.
book is the art of the deal, but I know that one I felt like one chapter, but I don't even know if it was that chapter. I do remember reading something in there where he said he didn't pick, I guess, a location based on what it brought to the table, but it was more
Yeah,
about what he could bring to the table.
yeah,
And he
that's the chapter I'm
made,
talking about. Yep.
okay, yeah, I don't remember what
Yeah.
chapter, but it was like, he brought the business to the area that he chose. He's like, that was the place that I chose. That was the building that I bought. And now it's about building the luxury around that
Yep.
versus, everyone else talks about location, location, location.
Yeah.
He became the location.
Yeah. That's the exact chapter, man, that I'm talking
See,
about.
well, there it is.
There it is. Yeah.
You
But
are
yeah, so
enough.
you ever
You are enough.
feeling it? Yeah. So you go back. So because you told me once you told me, I went directly to the library, got the book, read that chapter, and took it back because you was like, "Yo, don't even buy it. It ain't that good. Just read that one chapter."
That's real. That's real, real.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So I think when people gotta so I'm gonna tell you this too because this is on in the notes. Like you are enough, right? I think
Oh, thank
everybody.
you.
Yeah, I think everybody that's yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm thinking everybody that's feeling that when it comes, you got to repeat yourself because your biggest, real estate or thoughts. This is the biggest thing, and that's gonna in your thought
In your
patterns of
head.
what's going on in your head.
Yeah.
So know if you are enough, and if you're not enough, make sure you put in the work to become enough. In fact, put in the work to become more than enough. So right, so
Absolutely.
like if you're not enough, you are technically an imposter, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if you are not enough, you are technically an imposter. But if
But
you
listen
have
now, sometimes you got to fake it till you make it.
that's the thing.
Sometimes
Yeah,
you got to
I
fake it
think.
till you make it, and that's a real deal.
Uh-huh.
But don't fake it so much where like you're doing something not in your wheelhouse.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So if you faking it, you're an imposter until you make it, until you
Yeah,
actually become who. So that's definitely a Western. That's why I said if you are the quote imposter, you faking it until you make it. You got put in the work to become enough.
that's
So
true.
you're not the imposter, and if you're not the imposter, then if you still feeling like you're not enough, then that's when imposter syndrome kick in because you are enough, but you just don't think that you're worthy enough.
Worthy. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So let's give y'all some crumbs to take away from that because our time is coming short today. But we tried to find a book. We always try to grace y'all with a little book, to I guess refer to and read. And uh, we had a tough time finding a book written,
Uh-huh.
by melanated people for melanated people, and especially
Yeah.
of the male influence.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
We find things written for black women, for black girls, things like that, and that's great. Um, but it's more articles than there are,
Uh-huh.
actual books being published.
Yeah.
There's a wealth of options out there available for imposter syndrome books. It's just not written by melanated people, and not to say
Uh-huh.
that diminishes their experience or their knowledge on the matter, but it was just what we were looking for. So
Yeah.
go for it, take a look at it. But our I guess amalgamated action items for you guys. We've kind of not dumbed it down, but we got a few for y'all to take away. And so
Yeah.
you want to give them to them? Yeah?
Um. So break the silence. You want to go with that first one?
Yeah. I mean, well, first one
Yeah.
is definitely create new behaviors, right? To get past like those feelings.
Uh-huh.
The biggest thing is recognizing. Break the silence. Shoot. What is it? A quiet mouth don't give, closed mouth don't get fed.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you definitely
Yeah.
gotta talk and let someone know that I'm feeling this way. You may not be a fraud, but those feelings are fraudulent. So you
Yeah.
gotta definitely break the silence.
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
Pick a confidant. Somehow you have a confidant with that you can bounce stuff off of that's gonna be honest with you. Um, and that's crucial, right?
mm-hmm.
Because it's a lot of people that you think that's on your team that want you to do well is not doesn't want you to do well. So
That's
make
true.
sure you got like a good. And I don't even know how to weed that person or persons out per se.
Mm-hmm.
Just be conscious of it. I think the next one is you got to separate facts from feelings, right? Separate for you guys feelings from fact. I say facts from feelings.
Hey, either way,
um,
I mean,
Either way,
they two separate things. Put that line in the middle. Categorize them.
forgot about. And I think for me, I always tell people like get out your feelings, right? Um, and I know it's hard because we all are emotional beings. We all move off emotions, but some things are just the facts. Try to get to the objective fact and move accordingly
Mm-hmm.
versus your feelings because you could feel like a whole bunch of things. I don't necessarily mean that your feelings are I ain't gonna say no. Let me rewind for somebody cancel us. Your feelings are valid, at least to you. It does not necessarily mean it's valid to anybody else.
That's true.
Like, I can respect your feelings, but I definitely don't have to validate them. So separate your feelings from fact. So just so for example, I just give an example. If you have a PhD in whatever, right, and you get offered a job, it's paying whatever amount of money, some exorbitant amount of money that you never made before, you put in the work. Like although you may be feeling that you're not um worthy, that's the imposter syndrome. You put in the work to get the PhD, so thus you have the factual paper to prove it. You are worthy of that position.
Mm-hmm.
What's the next one, bruh?
Mm-hmm. I mean, a lot of people put their degrees and awards and commentations and things like that up on the wall. But I mean, it's a great thing to just be like, let me turn around and take a look. Like, dang, I did that. You know what I mean?
And
Like,
you know what's funny? I
huh.
think I spoke to you about this many a times, right? I don't even be thinking about these things, but the reason this is up and there's other ones,
Yeah,
uh, you see that?
yeah,
There's another one. Let me see. You see the degree? You know what I
yep,
mean? You see the reason that is up. It's not even for me. It's to let
yeah,
y'all know.
exactly, exactly. I'm not faking. I know what I.
Because I don't even be thinking about this type of stuff. I don't get caught up in actually the awards. I ain't scroll all the way over there. These were awards that I got from when I was in high school. I was a TV production major. Well, it's not a major obviously because you're in high school, but I
Mm,
got some producer awards,
yeah.
and those are the awards that I'm most proud of thus far. The one because they was like the first set of awards that was coming through that wasn't participation trophies,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and I knew that most people that was even in the program didn't get those awards. So
You remember the Disney movie Meet the Robinsons?
yeah.
So it's one of my favorite movies, right?
Uh-huh.
Because essentially his son from the if y'all don't know, I'm gonna give y'all a little synopsis. But his son from the main character's son from the future
Mhm.
comes back Back to the Future, essentially to the past,
Uh-huh.
to help him right some wrongs, right? Some
Yep.
wrongs that
Yep.
his son created. You know what I mean?
Mhm. Yeah, yeah.
But in doing that, somewhere down the line of the movie, he meets his future self, right? His
Mhm.
adult version. And he tells him, he's like, my most prized possession. And he's like, oh man, what? Because now he's in this lab and has all these things, has done all these things for like the community and, the world.
Mhm.
And he uncovers it under a blanket. And it's the science project that he did at the age that he's at, that the person he's talking
Mm.
to now.
Yeah,
He's
yeah,
like, I save it because this was my first project. This was the first one that worked. And it
yeah,
showed me
yeah,
that I was enough. Like I could do
yeah,
all these things that I've been dreaming of and thinking of, they're real and
yeah,
they're
yeah,
all up here. This is
yeah,
why I
yeah, yeah,
saved
yeah.
this one as a reminder that I can do this.
Yeah, yeah. This is because I was going to throw some trophies away. So I
Yeah.
just decided to bring those into the office. I may still throw like my sports trophies away. I don't know why I'm still have those in the house, but part of me like about
to
to because
remind yourself that you was once limber.
so when I got them, like the reason I haven't thrown them out because I'm like that's a permanent decision, right? So it's
Yeah.
like do I throw them out? Although it's from like when I was 8, like you know what I'm saying?
Your own
And
personal trophy case, huh?
yeah, it's like, yo, do I throw them out? So I've been keeping them, but I brought those in the office like every now and then. I was like, shout out to Mr. Rose. I don't know if he's still alive. I've been trying to find him and everything on social media. I don't even know if he's still alive, but he was like the first. It's a white guy. It was the first person. I ain't gonna say the first. One of the few people early on that was like, let me be who I was,
Yeah.
at least in a classroom setting. You know what I'm saying, and encouraged me to do, and believed in me. He
Mm-hmm.
made me a producer. He told me
Yeah.
like, yo, you could do this. He made me do a live. We televised our awards and it was live, and
Yeah.
he made me get up there and present. He was like, "Yo, you can do it." I'm like,
Yeah. It's like,
I come
okay,
full
if
circle,
you
but
believe in me, I will,
yeah, yeah, yeah. But I was nervous as hell, but whatever. All right, let me go. I
Well,
still,
I
I
think
don't,
that
I don't
look, I
have the
think
tape.
that's a great point.
Yeah,
You gotta embrace it and you gotta
yeah,
accentuate the positive, right? The
yeah.
things that work for you, you gotta do it. And you gotta,
Uh-huh.
shout it to the rooftop like, man, I did that, and
Yeah,
this is who helped me get to that point. That's part of thing
yeah,
breaking the silence. Sometimes you
yeah,
just gotta tell somebody, and even if you don't realize it, other people notice your confidence level and how you feel. And, the fact that you got close to him because he gave you that chance, he saw that that's what you needed.
yeah. Sometimes this is just another auxiliary point. Sometimes people see things in you that you don't see in yourself. We've been kind of
Absolutely.
sort of saying that throughout this episode, but
We
but
have.
in so many ways, he definitely saw something in me that I didn't see in myself at the time.
Mm-hmm.
And he gave me that opportunity, and I was off to the races.
There you go.
So I guess, like I said, the next one is develop a healthy response to failure and mistake making. Henry Ford once said, "Failure is the only opportunity to begin again more intelligently.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of beating yourself up for falling short, do what players on a losing sports team do and glean the learning value from the loss and move on, reminding yourself, I'll get them next time." And I
Yep.
always apply this as an entrepreneur. If you're definitely just for everybody, but entrepreneur, like you got, I think it's a book called Hurry Up and Fail, or that's a philosophy.
Mm-hmm.
Because you don't know what's going to work. So when people come to me for consulting services and or legal services, they get caught up on this crazy business plan they're trying to get to. They're trying to develop like the business plan, like their first business plan. They spending all this type of money on. I'm saying, look, bro, like you don't, bro, sis, you don't know what's gonna work yet. So don't spend a whole bunch of money on your first business plan unless you have the numbers from some other company that you're trying to emulate. And even if you do, it may not work for you. Like,
Mm-hmm.
you know what I'm saying?
That's
Like so
true.
you be spending 3,000 on this business plan, or unless you're going straight for funding off top, which is slim to none, where somebody's gonna give you money without no nothing, without no track record. Like you don't know. So you just gotta hurry up and get into the game and fail. What you got next, brother?
I mean, and think about what the Serena and Venus,
Uh-huh.
right? Their dad, the movie King James, right?
Uh-huh. Still
He
haven't seen it yet.
it was a good movie, and I
Yeah.
suggest people watch it.
Now I
And I'm
was
not
gonna
giving any
watch it.
spoilers, huh?
Yeah, I was gonna watch it. It was on. I thought it was gonna be on. I think it was HBO Max longer than what it was.
Yeah.
And then when I went and got back to it, it was like, oh nah, that joint is, that joint is you missed your chance, bro.
Nah. So I mean, the thing about it is, this man had a plan.
Uh-huh.
Whether he wrote it down or not, I don't remember. I'm pretty sure he did, but he wrote a
Uh-huh.
plan down. He stuck to the plan. Like he visualized, his like path to success.
Uh-huh.
And the failing points along the way was more adjustment, right?
Yeah.
And as the players changed, as the playing field changed, he like developed a new script on how to
Uh-huh.
move along that. Like, okay, somebody
Uh-huh.
thinks I'm crazy. You don't know the plan. And he took everything and he's like, you are talking to a teenage black girl.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Realize she said the answer. You're trying to pull a different answer out of her for
Uh-huh.
ratings, but
Uh-huh.
leave her
I saw
alone.
that clip. Yeah, I saw
You
that
know what I'm
clip.
saying?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
that's the kind of thing. He was stuck to his guns and what he
Uh-huh.
believed in. He wanted to give the girls a good life. He wanted them to give them an authentic life. And he let nobody steer him off his path. Now, did everybody agree with everything he did along the way? No.
Mm-hmm.
And that was people
Mm-hmm.
close to him and people, not so close to him, but he still did, what
Yeah.
he had to do. And I'm sure he felt, in his heart of hearts like an imposter at some point. But man, look, he not only had his family he had to keep moving,
Mm-hmm.
but he had businesses that came and went. There's a
Oh yeah?
moment, yeah, there's a
Yeah.
moment where his wife is talking about so what about this, and what about this business that you started, and this business that you started, and this business that you started, and oh, is this one still going, or it's so it was more to throw it
Uh-huh.
in his face at the moment, but it was he wasn't afraid to take those risks
Uh-huh.
and do the things that he wanted to do
Uh-huh.
alongside making sure his girls succeeded.
Got you.
You
I
know?
guess we got, yeah. I guess we got one last one, man. Reward yourself. Break the cycle of continuous seeking and then dismissing validation outside of yourself by learning to pat yourself on your back. I think I have a hard time with that one.
Oh
And it's
yeah.
not even something that I do on purpose per se,
Mm-hmm.
or um it just it just like I said, I don't be thinking about these things until other
Mm-hmm.
people bring them up. Like, yo, you did such and such. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, oh, I did do that. You know
Same.
what I'm saying?
Same.
Like,
Yeah. You just did it with the book.
I just did.
Like you gave me
Yeah,
advice. No clue. No
no
idea.
clue. But yeah, reward yourself because life is about, I tell people one is it's never going to be balanced, right? Something's always going to suffer, right? If
Mm-hmm.
you're doing business and you got a family, there's give and take. Like it's not no perfect formula, but enjoy life while we have it. I think we talked about it early. We want to live long, but maybe all of
We
us
don't
is
know
not
how long
blessed
we're
to
gonna
yeah.
live.
So and you can't, as far as I know, you can't take any of this stuff with you. Um, so
I mean,
you
that is for
making all this
sure.
money, yeah, making all this money, hoarding all this money, whatever. I mean, you got to figure it out for yourself what works for you. But just remember, like you can't take it with you. And what uh, I don't want. Obviously, I don't have $1 billion. I'm gonna say yet. I'm not even aiming for that. But if it happens, it happens. But it's just like at a
I
certain
mean, just
point,
don't forget about your boy when it happens.
I got you. I got you. At a certain point, it's like what do you it's like what are you doing it for? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And like with reward yourself is like, yo, take time to smell the roses, as they would say, and
Mm-hmm.
enjoy the fruits of your labor. Like splurge every now and then. I'm not saying be disrespectful or be undisciplined with it, but yeah, like this life is for living, and you gotta enjoy it while it's here. The material things don't necessarily do it as much for me as it once did, but you gotta figure it out, man.
That's true. That's true.
So what part of words do you have for the people, man? So we can get up out of here.
Man, look, feel yourself. You know, like that's all I could say. It is normal. It
Should I
is.
say pause after that or nah? We
Hmm.
too grown to be saying pause. You said feel yourself. we too
I'm
old to be
feeling
saying
myself. I'm feeling
feel
myself.
yourself.
Feeling.
Yeah.
I'm feeling myself. But yeah, no, I mean, no pause needed. You know what I'm saying? Look, if that gets you going, do that too. I'm just saying, to each his own. You know.
Oh, you crazy, man. Yeah.
Do that too. But you know, look, we try every week to give y'all some good crumbs. You know, that lead you to the cheese. We know it's tough out here. Ain't none of us got the complete written out encyclopedic knowledge on how to get to where you want to be. But
Uh-huh.
all we can do is help each other along the way. I can offer a hand. I can offer a shoe in the door. You know,
Uh-huh.
I'm just doing what I could do, bro, for you.
Yeah, man. So that's the today's show. And as always, I sound like the generic joint, but it works because it helps the algorithm. That's why everybody says it. Please like, rate, review, share.
Yes. Share.
Um,
Share. Tune
um,
in.
Tune in. And I'm going to say, we both have lives, businesses, families, and all that good stuff. So we try to do it every week, but realize we got other things going on, and we're not getting paid from this. So
No.
the more you go ahead.
I just said no. We're
No,
not
yeah.
getting
So
paid.
the more you like, rate, and review, the better chances, the increases our chances of monetizing. So we can do this, and y'all can definitely get one for sure every week. We try to do it every week, but don't hold. But we got to do better on ourselves. Hold us accountable. But we would appreciate if you like, rate, review, subscribe, and all that other good stuff, because that helps with getting us to the point where we can monetize this and where we can take stuff from time from away from family and the business, because we know this pays and we can do this. All right, so until next time, peace.
Peace.